Are you more afraid of tornadoes or driving your car? My guess is you're going to say tornadoes, right? Well, here's the thing. There is a 13,400% greater chance that you would get involved and die in a car accident here in Tennessee than die from a tornado. Over the last 5 years, there were on average 9.6 deaths per year in the state of Tennessee as a result of tornadoes. During that same time period, there were over 1,300 deaths due to car accidents. If we look at those numbers versus the entire population of Tennessee, which is around 7 million people, that means that you have a 0.01857% chance of dying from a car accident here in Tennessee. And when it comes to tornadoes, you have a 0.000137% chance of dying from a tornado here in Tennessee. All right, so here's the deal. I'm not telling you guys those stats to downplay the dangers of tornadoes. I understand that they're dangerous and they can do tremendous damage. My point is, you and I do things every single day that have a much higher chance of killing us than a tornado ever would. And we do those things multiple times throughout the day, day in and day out. And we're not worried about that, right? I don't want to get into the weeds with all this, but what about heart disease? Heart disease is one of the #1 killers of people in the United States. But you don't see people getting their blood pressure checked every single day, watching how much sodium they eat, exercising on a regular basis. People seem to just kind of hope they're not going to get heart disease. They don't really worry about it. I know some of you do, but most people don't. What's up, guys? My name is Matt Bogosian. I'm a real estate agent right here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about everything tornado. I'm going to talk about the areas that have the most tornadoes, the areas that have the least tornadoes, and the different things that you can do to protect yourself in the event of a tornado. All right, so let's just dive right in. I know you guys want to know this info right away. What are the areas that have had the most tornadoes over the last 50 years? Coming in at #1 is Davidson County. Davidson County is actually Nashville, so that's Middle Tennessee, and they have had 58 tornadoes over the last 50 years. Coming in at #2 is Shelby County, which is actually Memphis, and they have had 56 tornadoes over the last 50 years. Coming in at #3 is Wilson County, and Wilson County is just east of Nashville, and they've had 55 tornadoes. Coming in at #4 is Sumner County. Sumner County is actually northeast or north of Nashville, and they've had 52 tornadoes in the last 50 years. And then lastly is Rutherford County, which is southeast of Nashville, and they have had 45 tornadoes over the last 50 years. So as you can see, 4 of the top 5 areas that have had tornadoes over the last 50 years are in this Middle Tennessee area. So I just advise you, if you're moving to Middle Tennessee, try to stay south of Nashville. Williamson County, I think, had like 28. Murray County was even a little bit less. There's Marshall County. So there's plenty of areas that haven't had a ton of tornadoes over the last 50 years. All right, so what about the areas with the least amount of tornadoes over the last 50 years? Coming in at #1 is Campbell County. Campbell County has only had 1 tornado over the last 50 years. Now, one thing I will say about this list, all of these counties are located in the very northeast side of Tennessee, way, way, way up in the corner there. Coming in at #2 is 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐽. I might be saying that incorrectly, and they have only had 2 tornadoes over the last 50 years. Coming in at #3, we've got Hancock County, and they've only had 2 tornadoes over the last 50 years. Coming in at number 4, Union County, and once again, only 2 tornadoes over the last 50 years. And then at number 5, there were multiple counties in that northeast side of Tennessee that only had 3 tornadoes over the last 50 years. So if you want to go where there's absolutely hardly any tornadoes in Tennessee, that very northeast corner of Tennessee is where you want to go. So what do you do in the event of a tornado here in Tennessee? Well, I can tell you what I do and what most of the people I know do. We'll be watching the news, there's some heavy storms coming in, and we will see a tornado warning pop up. It's a warning. They'll say that there is a system where it is very prime and it is very perfect scenario for a tornado to develop. We're warning you, go to your safe space. All right, so at this point, there hasn't been any tornadoes yet, but you're watching the news and there's a little bit of concern. So what we do is normally go to like an internal room in the house. So like a bathroom or a half bathroom. I prefer to go to like a smaller room. A laundry room is a good example. You want a room that doesn't have any windows. And the thought is that you can stay away from any flying debris and not get hit by anything in the event that a tornado does come over your house. There's some people that will have a whole system and be ready. They'll put on like bike helmets and have flashlights and just different things just in case. And I think that's really smart to do. I will say 9 times out of 10, I just kind of hang out on my couch and watch the news. It's probably the wrong thing to do, and I get that, but I'm just telling you, that's how I've done it since I've lived here in Tennessee, which has been like since 1996. Now, if you want to take things a step further, you can get a tornado shelter. And there's several different types of tornado shelters that I've seen that some of my clients have got, or I've just had friends that got these. So the first one, I had a listing at one point, and it basically looks like a big safe, and it's just bolted down somewhere in your garage. It's this just big metal box, and it's real thick and heavy, and they've got it bolted into the concrete. It's got an in-swing door, so the door swings in like this. So if it does get blocked with debris while you're in the shelter, you can still open the door. The door's not going to be blocked. And really, they're really pretty nice. I mean, you just get in there and there's some seats in there and you just kind of wait out the storm. I would actually love to have one of those. The problem is you have to be really strict and you have to run out to that shelter when there's a warning. And you know, there's a lot of us that are like, oh, let's just wait. Let's wait. We should be okay. Like, you don't want to be like that, or else the point of the shelter is just completely negated. Then it's just pointless to have one. So in my opinion, if you're going to be somebody that gets a shelter, you also have to be very strict about going out to the shelter when you get a warning. So the second kind of shelter that I've seen was again in somebody's garage, and it was basically dug into the floor, and it had a cover and little stairs going down, and you just push down in there and you pull the cover over. I've seen that. So that's another one that you can do. I think that type of shelter is easier to do up front when you're actually building the home than to do it on the back end, because you'd have to be knocking out concrete and doing all sorts of stuff on the garage floor. I don't think I'd want to do that on the back end. I'd rather do that up front. The third type of shelter that I've seen people get is basically just a room in a basement. So we don't have as many basement homes as a lot of states up north, but we do have them here. And a lot of times in these basements, there's going to be like a closet or a back room that maybe has like a water heater or something back there. And it's just got 2 concrete walls, the foundation wall and then another wall. And you can just go into that room. That's supposed to provide really good protection. And the cool thing is you get the benefit of having a basement as well in your house. So you've got all that extra space to be able to use for whatever you want. So there you go, guys. I mean, tornadoes are the real deal. They are definitely dangerous, but I will tell you the chances of you actually dying from a tornado are far, far less than a lot of things that you do on a daily basis. And I just wanted to tell you guys that, and make sure you think about that so you're not scared to move here, especially to this Middle Tennessee area. I don't want you guys to be scared and worried about moving here. The percentages chance of you actually dying are really, really low. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. My name's Matt Bogosian. I'm a real estate agent. I'm with Kurt & Company Realty right here in Middle Tennessee. If you're thinking about making the move here, head over to workwithmatt.com, and from there you can schedule an appointment or just simply click the link in the description below. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.